Good afternoon and welcome to yet another match here in the Minor League Cricket Tournament 2025. Today's action features the Orlando Galaxy. They will be taking on the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and you can guarantee that we're going to have some action-packed cricket. The toss has already been spun, and the news is that Orlando, they would have won, and they have decided to bat first. And the openers, Chanderpaul and Christopher Vantel, already at the crease and just about ready for today's action. I'm Delwyn Neblet, of course. I'm joined with the experienced Naeem Chan, and together we're going to be covering this game in its entirety. And immediately action in the first delivery, a bit of a lofted shot, perhaps a half chance, and runs on the board, one without loss. Good morning to you, Naeem Chan.
Hey, good morning to you. Good morning to all the beautiful people of the planet, wherever you are, and picking up the broadcast. Absolutely picturesque. Look at this. Beautiful. I like seeing this simply because for me, it's like therapy. Nicely manicured and great Orlando Cricket Club. Well, I hear so much about this ground and the people, the boys that play in Orlando. So good to have a little picture of it.
Wide of the off stump cutaway. Another single added to the well, no run on offer. Kind of lost that visual a bit, but I reckon the Orlando Galaxy, they've got a good batting lineup. Chanderpaul is very experienced, of course. He's recently been recalled to the West Indies test side. So they're going to be looking for a total in excess of 150, 160. I believe they're going to be happy with. Anything over that may count as a bit of a bonus, Naeem.
Well, with the likes of Tage, Vantul, they've got several others. They should be looking out to get over that 150 at a minimum. Gawan has started off very relaxed and kind of a easygoing. So we'd be having just like Tage and Vantul. There's another Vantul that plays in Guyana, Damien. And of course, Tage is well known across the globe, West Indian cricketer.
Yeah, quite the talented left-hander. A bit unorthodox in his approach, but quite effective. He's one of those batting fanatics. He rarely ever throws his wicket away.
Yes, and sometimes at the senior level, at the big stage, he has not been called up many times for things like the IPL, for example. They just believe that he's designed for Test cricket. And I think he believes that too. He's got the kind of patience, that kind of character. Oh, we've had absolutely gorgeous conditions in the minor league 2025. I like the conditions. Nice bright sunshine streaming down. So the Orlando Galaxy off to a very quiet start. Just one ball remaining. First over gone, 3 without loss. So very quiet, very patient, watching, looking at the bounce of the pitch. Tage might be very much affiliated or acquainted or au fait with the conditions here. I was making some recommendations and that quite recently for a few Guyanese players, young players, to the leagues, the respective leagues. And of one of those, and that's before he was called up for the CPL, was Quinton Sampson. Quinton is such a bright prospect. And then he got into the breakout tournament and was then marched straight into the CPL. So he's had his luck too, making lots of adjustment, because the Samson that you see at the level of the CPL is not the original Samson. He was far more aggressive. I think he has tempered it. He's been batting with people like Shea Hope. And so words of advice and exchanges in the camp is bringing the best out of Samson. I understand they're already selecting him for the major league. That's good news.
Yeah, most definitely looking forward to seeing a lot more from him, and looking forward to seeing exactly how many of these Orlando Galaxy batters will get here today. Of course, they've got an experienced pair, Christopher Vantal, into his 30s these days, 33 years old. And in the minor league, he's played 31 matches so far with an average of just under 20. He's got 3 half centuries, including a highest score of 74. So he will be looking to improve on those numbers. His partner, Tejan Chanderpaul, is still relatively young, as this one is delivered wide by Edgar. Just a bit too wide, and the umpire signals accordingly. Chanderpaul with a much more superior record, as you would expect, given his expertise and exploits at the international level. 13 half centuries in 38 matches, with a highest score of 77 in this minor league. Down the leg side for yet another wide, so a bit of an inconsistent start for Mr. Edgar.
I'm so thankful to be a part of the minor league as far as the media coverage is concerned. And it has done something for me, and that is to understand the level of cricket in the minor league. I'm pleasantly surprised. Of course, there are areas that the administration of cricket would have identified and that they'd have to do some work on. One is in the bowling department. Yesterday, I was so pleasantly surprised at the level of the bowling that I saw.
And this one yet, another lofted shot into the offside is going to clear the boundary. And we will see the very first maximum for today. Good shot from Christopher Vantal. Full delivery outside the off stump. Just easing into it. 6 runs.
Well, Christopher seems to have a full idea on what the power play means. Most of the players are inside of that circle, so you can go over the head.
So after maximum, he's been cleaned up. Good comeback from the bowler. Hardy Karan Edgar. Way to hold your nerve. Put under a bit of pressure early. He started with a few wides, and then, as we mentioned, struck for a maximum, but coming back beautifully, beating the batsman all ends up. And the first wicket goes down in the second over. The Orlando Galaxy, they are 12 for 1.
And I was just mentioning that he's calculating right. He can go over the top of the head, because you don't want to be bogged down also and that depends on the strength of your batting side. But you don't want to be bogged down because you're putting a lot of pressure at the back end. And so they've got to utilize all the goodies, so to speak. And for some reason or the other, I just think that there's a change, or may I say addition, to the strategies of T20. Just a couple of years ago, I think the emphasis was winning that power play at all costs. Now, the back end seems to be very important as well. Very wide. Now, I was talking just a short while ago about some of the areas I think the administration of cricket would want to look at. And I guess they've got their coaches and their planners, and that's in the bowling department. Though yesterday I was so impressed by Cavaliers, the bowlers, but it's the wides. I've seen too many of them.
Yeah, definitely an area to be improved on. The extras, especially the wides in particular. Good bit of running between the wickets on that occasion. And still one delivery to come in the second over of this innings. Orlando Galaxy looking to set a respectable total here. Maybe even to bat the Fort Lauderdale Lions out of this contest.
Like his father, this guy will be unruffled. He's never flustered. Just wants to bat. Not exactly that amount of patience like his dad, but the inclination and the intention of him, that in the DNA of the Chanderpauls, to bat and bat for very long. 2 overs gone, 15 for 1. And I can say with authority what I'm saying there, simply because the senior Chanderpaul basically grew up in front of me, in the same club. We played cricket. He was so small when his dad forced him into the club team. That was just about age 8 or 9. And the pads were reaching him. It was not serving the purpose of protecting his legs only. His chest, his throat, the pads were all up there. And one particular game where he defended so much that the bowler got angry and pelted the ball. Short. Not a full flurry or flow of the bat. Not injecting the kind of adrenaline or energy in that shot. But Tage has got the similar DNA where he's going to be cautious and get each run on its merit until he builds on that. That's why in the T20 format, he's not being necessarily considered widely, globally.
Yeah, Naim, as you mentioned, may not have quite absorbed all of the patience, but he definitely absorbed all of the talent. And you spoke of your first memories of a young Shiv Narayan. You know, myself and Tej Narayan Chanderpaul, we actually attended the same high school in Guyana. And while I was in the high school department and he was still in the primary, I've got fond memories of seeing Tej hit these youngsters all around the schoolyard, even while he was a juvenile. Good days at Marion Academy.
Passing the outstretched hands of cover point that will carry towards the boundary. Nice flowing shot there from Hamilton. But that's, there you go, away from the cover point. But that's something you see in all the levels of cricket, so to speak, or the stages from nursery to primary to high school and then your national team, you are a cut above the rest. You see it. If you're in the media, you spot them very early. Hooper, Lara, they've all done the same thing. Mentioned that story in 1994. We were doing commentaries on the England-West Indies match at Border. And after the game, we were left sitting on our chairs in the commentary box. And then suddenly these little boys crowded the field. They were playing, and I hunched on Jonathan Agnew from the BBC and said, "Have a look at that little boy." Now that's another boundary gone straight away. So Hamilton is on the job, picking up the slack, so to speak. There you go. A replay for you. So the little boy, Jonathan Agnew, said to me, "Hey, that's one for the future." He was just 12 years old. That little boy turned out to be Ramnaree Sarwan.
A couple of exquisite cover drives from Mr. Orrington Hamilton so far. 1 for 4 and another for maximum, as yet another wide is being bowled here. The play continues as it relates to this error from the bowlers. We want to wish a happy birthday to the universe boss. Christopher Henry Gale celebrates his birthday today. Of course, if you know anything about cricket, you will know that he is one of the superstars of our sport. And of course, a lot of runs in his career. He's got the most runs in T20s, 14,000 of them. Well, 14,562 to be exact. He's also got the most sixes in T20s, a whopping 1,056, the only player so far to eclipse that 1,000 mark as it relates to sixes. Kyron Pollard is number 2 with 963. But we want to say happy birthday once again to the universe boss, Chris Gale, who definitely made this format his own. And we definitely hope that he celebrates well today.
Well, you said that if you know cricket, you would know Chris Gale. I believe you don't have to know cricket to know Chris Gale. Every housewife, every little child knows Chris Gale. And look at it, the irony in it. You would not know who's the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And I mean that. If you're in the media or you're a follower of politics, you might know that. But you know who is Chris Gale. You would not know who is the finance minister of the country, but you would know Brian Lara. And that the same pattern, of course, will go across to other teams and other countries across the world. Chanderpaul is 5 off 5. Now he's going to eke out those runs. That's what he's going to do, squeeze them around. And spasmodically, he would lurch or lunge into a big drive and get a boundary, just to mix it up a little bit, but he's never in a hurry. And if that's a positive way, well, then his father was the godfather of it. In T20, it might not be all that positive a way. What you can depend on is the stability he's going to occupy. He wouldn't give you less than a run of a ball at the end of his journey.
A bit of left arm finger spin from Nihal Katakdond. Still quite early in his minor league career so far. Just the 7 wickets in 10 games. He's been employed very early in this piece, in the 4th over. What can he produce for his captain? Orrington Hamilton has come to the crease and played shots. He's joined Chanderpaul Chanderpaul, who's already looking settled.
Well, it's good to see, as far as from the perspective of the Galaxy team, that they have a right hand, left hand combination. Very, very important. It disorients the fielding side, having to change all the while the field placings. That's one. But it definitely disorients the bowler to a large extent. Because every time the right switches to the left, you've got to align. It's a new line, new direction for the bowler. So it's extra work. And in so doing, it puts a lot of pressure on the thinking of the bowler.
Yeah, and it also puts a lot of pressure on the thinking of the captain because he may not be able to be as aggressive as he would like just because of those limitations being placed on the bowler and those challenges being placed on the bowler. This looks as though the second wicket has now gone down. Well, not quite just a dot ball. Yeah, it is in fact the second wicket. Yeah, I suspected that. We didn't get to see the signal, but the body language on the field suggested that that was a wicket. And now we can confirm that Orrington Hamilton has got to go. And the Fort Lauderdale Lions have successfully picked up their second wicket. Nihal Katakdon introduced into the attack and striking immediately.
Lots of inroad being made. And I would have thought that they won the toss, decided to bat first. So having a good background knowledge of the state of that pitch. I know that they would not be celebrating at 30 for 2 in over number 4. They will be feeling away. But the run rate is quite attractive. Almost bordering on 8.
Indeed, a healthy run rate. The wickets column, I reckon that will be the big issue. Not if you're a Fort Lauderdale Lions supporter. You're going to be happy with those 2 wickets inside of your first 4 overs.
Well, that's not Rion King, our king. Struck away, would not go towards the boundary.
More like Romario.
They're borrowing and exchanging names. Romario Shepherd. Just borrow the Romario for the first name. Then take Rion King's name, his title, for the second. What a pleasant personality Rion King has. He's very much intensely involved in West Indies cricket. But he's always with a smile. There's some of these players who are so pleasant while playing and after retirement.
Yeah, most definitely. Privileged to be a part of a few lectures, if you want to call it, from Rion King as it relates to his capacity as a match referee, all a part of a bit of commentary training we did here in Guyana under the leadership of Reds Pereira.
Well, there's a particular form of West Indian player. When we do commentaries, don't ever share a joke. He never stops laughing. This guy laughs all the time. I believe that's why we're not seeing much of him. But it's always so pleasant to have the opportunity or opportunities over the years to be among some of the real big legends. No run? You would not believe it. Sir Vivian Richards, now, after retirement, is one of the most pleasant persons that I've done commentaries with. Giggles and laughs. You never saw that when he was on the field, swept away down at the Orlando Cricket Ground. Action picking up here. And Chanderpaul flat along the ground. Absolute control.
Yeah, a bit of meat and drink here for Tej Narain, as easy as you like. He loves that sweep stroke. He plays it to good effect, and this time just picking the gap to perfection. Score now 38 for 2. The run rate back over that 8 mark. Mohib Siddiqui, he's got no catches in close. So he really has to be thinking defense, as this one is way too short and dispatched once again. Tejan Chanderpaul on the move here. A lot of problems for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Look how he's rolling that wrist and getting it along the ground. He's hardly ever airborne. He likes it flat. That was too short from Siddiqui.
A bit more than a half tracker on that occasion. Just sat up and asked to be hit. And a batsman, the caliber and quality of Tejan Chanderpaul, is not going to miss out on those. 10 runs from the first 3 deliveries so far. And solid in defense. Delivery number 4.
But I guess he's using all of this cricket to maximize the training, the concentration for his tour to India down the leg side. I was waiting to see whether that was called a wide. I see wicket coming up on our scoreboard. Chanderpaul goes. Wow. Siddiqui picks up. He gets the last laugh. Chanderpaul bowled for 18. That must have been clipping that leg stump. Chanderpaul looking for a leg side shot again and missing it. Now he's gone for 18. The Galaxy, obviously, with the departure of Chanderpaul, will start to think now that this is getting too bad. 42 for 3.
Yeah, well, this is what we love to see. Good competitive cricket. It's the second time that Abona has been taking a bit of stick early in the over, and then he's come back to take a wicket. We saw it earlier on with Harry Karan Ediger, and now we're seeing it in this over with Mohib Siddiqui. After being struck for 10 by Tejan Chanderpaul, he comes back and removes his leg pull. And now the score for the Orlando Galaxy is 42 for 3. 1 delivery to come in over number 5. And the new batsman, Shoaib Saeed, he comes out to accompany Romario King. And this is what we oftentimes speak of as it relates to picking up wickets. It's going to break the momentum. Now you've got 2 brand new batters at the crease, and they're going to take some time to get going. They usually do, Naeem.
Absolutely. But I was just about to mention, you have 2 new batters, and you have to step up that aggression. I'm talking about the captain here, and he's doing exactly that. I'm seeing a solitary slip. The aggression. You must put these batsmen under pressure. Not a nice start there, Saeed, fishing outside the off stump. End of a very good over, picking up the wicket of Tejan Chanderpaul after a 6 and a 4 were struck in that over. 42 for 3.
Nihal Katakdan, he's been good in his first over. He's already got a wicket, conceded just the 5 runs. And I reckon he's going to be hungry for more.
Well, they're living with that understanding that they're not nicely placed. So what they have to do is work on the consistency during the entire innings. The first half, they're suffocating a bit, 42. 42, not exactly a bad score, but losing 3 wickets are. Or is, may I say.
And we've seen the spin bowlers they've been the difference so far. The batsmen finding it a lot more difficult to score, as well as those spinners able to pick up a few wickets within and among them. Still no slip in place, but just taking some time to set his field, making sure he's absolutely happy with where those men are. As this one is pushed into space for a single, perhaps the opportunity for a second, but the batsman just slips. 44 for 3.
But it's good to see that the batsmen are seeking runs, and I'm talking about smaller portions here, ones and twos. They've got a good scoring rate. Could you keep up that as far as you're able to? Don't think about the boundaries, but see how you can get it. And to get that, you've got to squeeze it into gaps.
That's right. When the runs are not flowing, you've got to come up with ways and means to keep that scoreboard ticking. You've got to run hard. Sometimes you may want to look to a bit of innovation or improvisation, but if you're going to do that, make sure you're proficient, because Naeem Chan is going to scold you. As this one, no improvisation and innovation required here. It's a straight drive and a handsome one at that. 4 runs off the bat of Romario King.
Yes, he's probably definitely looked at the field. Then it's when you know you're a smart batsman. Gauge the field. If he's deep, play softer. Pick up 2 runs instead of a single, hitting it hard.
And this time an on drive for 1. Good running. Romario King looks to be a good batsman here. Walked out at number 4. A lot, I reckon, will be riding on this partnership. The top 3 batters already dismissed. They're going to look for a bit of a reconstruction from these 2 middle order batters.
Really had a fantastic match yesterday, which we were privileged to describe for you, between Manhattan Yorkers and the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. I haven't seen half of the amount of teams. There are 26 teams in this tournament, but definitely Somerset Cavaliers is a contender. Good bowlers, very good batsmen. We saw Chanderpaul Hemraj and his other partner batting out the entire score, winning by 10 wickets for the Cavaliers. Chanderpaul 58. No run here. And Lewis 57, both not out.
Yeah, it really was commanding. The 50 comes up in over number 7. Orlando Galaxy, they've lost 3 wickets. They have been scoring at quite a clip. Usually, these T20 sides, they bat deep. Management, they're quite adamant about employing a lot of all-rounders, players who are capable with both bat and ball.
This one is down the ground. There's a man down there. So they're going very watchful, respectful. I think that's the absolute approach that should be adopted by these players. But just keep that scoreboard going. It's dropped a little below 8 now. Even if in the middle process it remains there, so don't go lower, but even accelerate to 8. If you can keep at 8 without losing wickets, I think that'll be a good comeback for the Galaxy.
Yeah, most definitely. What you should be thinking is to preserve yourselves as much as you possibly can, all the way up until that over number 15 mark, as we see yet another quick single into the offside. And it seems as though they've got the right idea here, Naim Chan.
Yes, it definitely seems so. They've got a hold out there. Nice to see them having mid-pitch conferences, talking. I think we're quite okay here, but we got to keep here and don't lose more wickets. Because every time, as you mentioned, Delwyn, every time you lose a wicket, it puts tremendous pressure on a new batter, especially if the platform that they have built, which is 52 in 7 overs, not entirely bad, if that platform is flattened or gets a puncture and just goes down a little bit, it's hard and more difficult for fresh batsmen coming in to pick up back that slack. So ones and twos, very, very important. And sporadically, a boundary here or there will get all the calculations right in the equation.
New ball into the attack. Ronak Sharma. More spin. That has been the order of the day. It's worked to a large extent for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. And now we're going to have some right arm wrist spin. First delivery, nice and easily down the ground for a single. Shoaib Saeed on 2 from 4. Hasn't played shot in anger as yet. It's this one, once again, driven down to the long off boundary for a single. So just keeping the scoreboard ticking over. They are running those singles. And trust me when I tell you, the bad balls will come. So that's why you love to see batters being disciplined. And just as we're speaking of it, he attempts a big shot. Yeah, he's kind of scolding himself. That's not the plan. However, it's just a single in the end.
A very quiet atmosphere in this game. Quiet because nothing sensational is not happening out in the middle. A few wickets have gone down, yeah. So there was a little bubbling feeling among the fielders. But these two have moved it from 42 for 3 to 55 for the same 3. Not a monumental achievement, but still, no wickets tumbling.
Yeah, they've got to rebuild. An attempted sweep shot, not going exactly where he would have intended. Dot ball. Bowler just seems a bit unhappy with something here. I think he wants that man who's currently at long leg just to come a bit finer. May just be in the event of that sweep stroke. Big appeal. And the umpire raises his finger. And the 4th wicket goes down. He took quite some time to actually set that field. And in the end, the next delivery ended up striking the batter on the pad. And he's got to go for LBW.
But that's not what the doctor ordered, right? They just should not be losing wickets. That would have been essential to the building back process and getting that platform repaired. And that just didn't happen. So 55 for 4 in over number 8 is not good because these are frontline batsmen. And as I mentioned to you earlier in the commentary, that there is so much of emphasis these days on a back end, meaning to get strong hitters coming down to that back end, the last 5 overs or 3 overs, somewhere about there. So I don't know the strength of Orlando. We'll be watching them. But to lose your frontline batsmen before the completion of the 10th over, this is over number 8 in progress. It's not doing any good for the batting side. But for certain, the bowling side, they're pretty happy.
Yeah, that wicket brings Ayush Dakar to the crease. Relatively inexperienced. So much so that he's played 7 matches and only scored 3 runs so far. So a lot riding here today on some inexperienced shoulders. I'm sure his teammates, his management would have seen enough of him in the nets to believe that he can play a significant role here today. And that's why he's now in. And I think I might have put the whammy on him. He's not playing any roles whatsoever. He's gone for a golden duck first ball. Well, well, well. The wickets have begun to tumble. And Sharma, he's on a hat trick, Naeem Chan.
Very good for him. I was just about to comment. I'm actually comparing the atmosphere yesterday between the Manhattan Yorkers and New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, and the energy that I saw yesterday. Everybody were zippy, always in a flash, smiling, moving, a lot of energy. And even the fielding side, who should be feeling triumphant, it's only when a wicket fall I'm seeing a lot of an injection of adrenaline in the system. But they have a lot to celebrate. This is not looking good for Galaxy.
Yeah, at 55 for 5. Naeem Chan, he was speaking of that partnership that had accumulated 13 runs and looked like it was going to be crucial as it relates to rebuilding this innings. They've both since King is still there, but he's lost 2 partners within that space of time, and the score remains on 55.
Worked away, casual single. But it's more of those. It's retaining the wickets, keep them intact, and just keep working on those smaller portions of runs until you get more settled. So Batad will face his first ball. King has gone to 13, as you mentioned, from 13. I wonder if yesterday's partnership between Chanderpaul, Hemraj, and Lewis, at some stage we can check that, could have been or could be the highest in the tournament. They won the game without losing a wicket, 117 without loss. In fact, 121 without loss.
This is pressure, and it's going to continue to build. The boundaries have soaked up. Mohit Siddiqui, he's going to be looking to get into the act a bit more. He's already got 1 wicket to his name into his 3rd. The run rate that was in excess of 8 at one stage, it has now slipped to 6.82.
Beaten outside the off stump. Good ball, Siddiqui. But the way things are going, Delwyn, it's auguring pretty well. We've got to get down to the National Stadium for the big CPL final tonight, so we can leave earlier. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, perhaps someone has got a flight to catch as well. It is the talk of the region, those CPL finals, and it's one of the biggest grudge matches in T20 cricket. The Guyana Amazon Warriors versus the Trinbago Knight Riders. Where will you be?
We have on a pot actually to take to the ground tonight, and let me just emphasize the menu. It's chicken curry, chicken curry, not curry chicken. Big drive, expansive, opening the face of the bat. I wonder, that seemed as though it's gone over that white line. Wait on the signal from the umpire. There's none, so did not cross.
Yeah, super save on that occasion. Saving 2 runs for his side. And that's what you need. The pressure is on. Keep on that pressure. Good support from the fielders. 9 overs have now been completed. The Orlando Galaxy, they're batting first. They're not looking good. They've lost half of their side on 61. And Ronak Sharma, the man who picked up 2 wickets in his last 2 deliveries of his previous over, he's now into the attack. And on a hat trick.
For the umpteenth time. Look at that. He's got 2 wickets for 3 runs. Reminds me of that Curtly Ambrose scenario.
Why no slip? Nudged into the leg side for a single. Yeah, I would have loved to see a bit of aggression from the skipper, with your bowler, bowling with his tail up. He's on a hat trick. There were no fielders in close catching, and there's still none there, so.
Excellent point. That's the point I was making earlier about the lack of aggression. Men should be fastened up under your buttocks there. Beautiful landscaping. That's like the mound in the background where that signboard is. Sight screen correction. Like we have a mound like that at the National Stadium, and there is where you can be of poor heart rate and go into that mound. You can go, but they'll bring you out on stretchers. Somebody complained and told me when a boundary is knocked or for the Warriors, people are flinging alcohol in the air, so it's everybody close. Got it. Appeal. Another one goes. Oh, Galaxy, this is not good enough at all. Batad goes for 4, 63 for 5.
Yeah, not good from the perspective of the Orlando Galaxy. Nonetheless, you can't take anything away from these Fort Lauderdale Lions. They have been exceptional with their bowling, especially this man, Ronak Sharma. He's now picked up his 3rd wicket in his 2nd over and conceded just 5 runs. So come at the hour, come at a bit of brilliance here at the Orlando Cricket Ground.
Well, falling of that wicket, I don't know if the umpires are deciding maybe to have the little drinks break and the intermission. All right, so there we go. 9.4 overs, 63 for 6. The Orlando Galaxy squad in all sorts of trouble. This is absolutely not good for a batting side, winning the toss. They know the atmosphere, the structure of the ground, the structure of the pitch, the behavior of the pitch, so to speak. So to see them getting at 63 for 6, really not a nice sight. We're going to have a little break too, and we'll rejoin you in just a while.
Sharma continues. Dot ball to begin with. The new bat is Hardik Desai. He's under a lot of pressure here. Stop order. He's failed miserably today. And they're now at risk of being bowled out well within their allotment of 20 overs as over number 10 comes to an end. The Orlando Galaxy 64 for 6. Yeah, the good thing about this minor league tournament so far, even though it is in essence a developmental tournament, it's been good competitive cricket so far. Most of these sides very evenly matched, and as it relates to the cricket that has been displayed to a large extent, it has been proficient and professional. We want to see more youngsters grasp at this opportunity to display their skills and display their talent and put up their hands to do something good on this scale. Who knows where it will lead you to? A lot of eyes on the world of cricket and a lot of eyes on the United States at this moment in time.
Well, the world is watching the United States, and for a particular reason. It's a country with a great economy. They can host games, a big, massive stadia, a big, massive stadium or stadia, more than one, would be ideal to host great international tournaments. They should have a version of the IPL struck away. Everywhere it goes, someone is there. So that's why they're an important link in the world of cricket and its development. And of course, it's getting the government involved with building these infrastructures.
It's a square drive. Beats the man at backward point, but he's tracking it down and does save it from going into the boundary. But I reckon they've got at least 2, maybe even 3 on that occasion. We're going to, yes, 3 runs. So a good bit of running.
Oh, the Lions are roaring, Fort Lauderdale Lions. And the mediocrity is coming to the full fore, because in some sides you'd see at the back end 6 wickets gone. Some of the strongest hitters are inside there somewhere. Not a single, it seems. Someone is there again. But at least they're crawling along.
I like that word, crawling. 11 overs gone, 69 for 6.
Look at that landscaping. It's so beautiful. It catches my eye all the time. Huge jungle-like bushes at the back. But just in front of that, most well-kept outfield and the mound at the back. It looks great and pretty. Half sun, half shadow. It's moving across with the bowler as he approaches. Now they've got to target some bowler. These batsmen, in their minds, got to identify which of the bowlers they can target.
Pushed into the leg side. Yeah, they might want to have a look and assess the best option indeed. It's not going to be this one. I can guarantee you that the captain, Sharma, has been sublime. 3 wickets for just 6 runs. Well, 7 runs now so far. And hunting more. He's got 1 over to come after this. So they may just want to milk him, see him off, and take the chances against someone else.
Precisely. I don't think they'd identify this one. Exception to the rule. So far, what do we have? All low scores. Just Tejan and Chanderpaul getting to 18. The rest all below double figures. And you've got, of course, King is in there up to now. Better than nothing. Just keep going. Guyanese parlance, 1-1 dotty bill dam. So you just keep adding on those singles. Crawl towards the 100 mark.
Yeah, who knows? This game of cricket is described as a game of glorious uncertainty. And despite this being a low score so far, you can never be sure whether or not it will be enough or it won't be enough. Just have to wait and see. That's just the nature of this sport, and that's why we love it so much. A lot of unpredictable endings. We've seen so many strange things over the years in this sport, and that just adds to the uniqueness. Even though it's the same game, on any given day, it's always a different script and a different storyline.
But I guess the same story goes around other disciplines of sport. Swung away. That looks as though it's going to go all the way. And even is it a maximum? It was airborne, and it's carrying at a fast rate.
Yeah, it does look to be a 6 after quite some time of the bat of Hardik Desai.
He's a friend of mine that betted, but he bets on cricket, a combination, football, and something else, and 3 different bets, and he's winning. Just this last football game, last match, to crong off a couple of $1 million in his pocket. And in the last 30 seconds, the team went and scored a goal, and he lost. 30 seconds, just alluding to what you said earlier on about the glorious uncertainties, happens all around.
Most definitely. That is the nature of sport.
Cracked away. The energy, I'm not seeing energy today. Yesterday the atmosphere was filled with it. It's all like a slow motion atmosphere. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, looking for that similar shot that he picked up 6 in the previous over, but this time a better delivery, just leaving him outside of that off stump. He is playing across the line. He's playing against the natural movement of the ball, which is always a challenge.
Now that's better. Get 2 runs. Run faster. Let me see you, young men. Scamper. Looks like a mild wind coming across the ground. Yesterday in New Jersey's game, it was very, very windy conditions. Now that's a broad bat. That's a broad bat. Is a catch taken. The fielder is on the ground. Let me see. Take out the ball from your hands. No, we're being blocked. Our vision. Looks as though he's went to retrieve that ball. Big from Desai. Well, there was a catch on off, but not taken. 4 runs.
Yeah, a bit of a half chance going down on that occasion. Hardik Desai is going to be happy with that. He moves on to 18 from 15. And another single picked up in the offside area. So these two batters, even with 6 wickets having gone down, they look quite capable, Naeem Chan. Romario King has been good on his 21. Desai has joined him. He's now on 19.
They're doing a major repair work here. Collateral damage. But they're picking up the singles. Very, very good. And as you mentioned, King has been out there for a long time. He's faced up to 19 balls for his 22. So that's excellent in the circumstances.
Yeah, and the thing is also, as it relates to King, the new batters have come and essentially deprived him of strike. So he's been there for a while, but perhaps not being able to face as many deliveries as he would like as the said batter.
You're right, because it's 13 overs gone, and he has faced 19 balls only. But doesn't that say something about the cricketing sense of the player, the batters or the batsmen? Because you should know that you have to ease and give King the strike more often if he's a frontline batsman.
Yeah, and he's batting at 4. And he's only faced 3 deliveries more than the batsman batting at 8, who's his batting partner.
A similar thing happened at the National Stadium with Johnson Charles opening the batting. And his partner took most of the strikes, 90% of the strike. And Charles, who is such an aggressive opener, just had a few deliveries.
Single to begin the over, Ranak Sharma. He is the captain of these Fort Lauderdale Lions, and he's decided to bowl himself out. 3 wickets for 17 runs so far. Exceptional stuff. A dot ball here. I'm not exactly sure if there is a wind that's heavy enough to affect these batters' stroke play or their choice of stroke play, because to a large extent they are looking to pull deliveries outside the line of the off stump into the leg side, as this one is done again, but it's kept on the ground. Perhaps just a strength of the batters or a preference. So as a fielding side now, you've got to be able to see that. Set your field accordingly. Challenge him. If you're going to hit over my fielders.
Runs definitely improved. The run rate is definitely improving. And these two have done quite a good job. But the last wicket fell, I think it was 63. The score was then 63. It's gone now to 91. Excellent. This is a very, very good partnership. That's it. There should have been an alert. Something is not alert. Turning your back on your partner, and the game is in progress. Wherever the ball is, it's still moving. You've decided against the second run, and then it happens. Because you're not even turning around, facing each other, ready, stand by. There must be a bit of urgency. You're getting runs. The opportunity is there. just maximize that opportunity as most as possible, meaning be alert if there's a slight opportunity of a second run by running the first run faster and on the lookout for the second. That's the kind of energy I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily seeing that. 14 gone, 94 for 6.
Yeah, most definitely agree with you there, Naeem Chan. Also, what we would have seen, a bit of good feeling sometimes, and on other occasions, the fielding side did look a bit complacent, even with taking those first 6 wickets. It is as though, they're kind of just going through the motions and expecting that these remaining 4 wickets are just going to take themselves. Katakton has also been good. Now in to finish his spell as well. He's got 1 wicket for 21. Spin doing the trick here today. So I reckon the Orlando Galaxy and the team management, they're going to be thinking about who can replicate the role that Renak Sharma played for the Lions.
Wide signal by the umpire. We've not seen a lot of extras. We saw a few wides, but I think that the opening games in the tournament, it was like almost overbearing, the number of wides we'd seen. But it's gotten better. These teams have really improved that statistic, a lesser amount of wides.
Sometimes when you've got a plan that you want to bowl to, that plan kind of forces you to err a bit. And as a captain, you don't mind, but you don't want your bowler ever to be erring too much, as this one once again pulled into the onside. They're going to come back for 2 and get there comfortably in the end.
Well, the movement of the players I'm not saying that it's hindering the progress of their team. I'm talking about the slow movement. But I'm not seeing the gingerly, energetic, hypered kind of, especially running between the wicket. Quite possibly they know they can get a second, so they move very slowly. But it's casual and it's pretty obvious. So now you put on some speed because you could be run out. I'm saying I want to see that all the time, especially the first run, as fast as you can. You're supposed to be fit enough to do that. So it's looking almost casual. Not necessarily that it has denied them of extra runs. Missing, swishes and misses. End of the over. 15 gone, 100 coming up, 101 for 6.
Into the final 5. More affectionately known as the back end of the innings. Usually at this stage, the batters, they look to go big. They look to maximize their scoring opportunities by playing shots at just about everything. So this is a time as a fielding side, you want your fielders to be alert. You want key fielders in key positions to be on their toes. And if you've got those X-factor fielders, as we've got in a lot of these world-class sides, the likes of Fabian Allen, the likes of Glenn Maxwell, players who can create a chance out of perhaps a half chance. You want to see that kind of energy in the final 5 overs of a T20 fixture. Looks like we're going to have a new bowler into the attack to begin over number 16. How many will the Orlando Galaxy batters get from the final 5 overs? It is in fact Elton Tucker Jr. and he started well with a dot ball. Cut away, the sweeper picks up and they come back for 2. So I reckon they might have just heard Naeem Chan, and even in the last 2.5 overs or so, the running between the wickets has begun to improve a bit. And this one is looking to pull it into the onside. It's a top edge. The bowler himself, Tucker, gets a hand to it and puts it down. Well, Elton Tucker Jr. not pleased with himself. He did the hard work. The ball was in the air for quite some time. Did get a hand to it. Not able to hang on. Those catches are never easy, but you would expect him to take it at this level. And as you would usually see, salt being rubbed into the wounds of the bowler, Elton Tucker Jr., after dropping that opportunity. He's got no one else to blame. He dropped it himself. He's now struck for a boundary. Good shot, Hardik Desai. Maximum over the boundary for 6. Timed that one to perfection on that occasion. And immediately the effects of that drop catch already starting to show here today at the Orlando Cricket Ground. Orlando Galaxy, they're on Nelson, 111 for 6. And this one way too wide from Elton Tucker Jr. He's conceded 10 runs so far. Big 6 of the bat of Hardik Desai. Really has played well for his 35. Pulling this one into the mid-wicket area. It's just going to be a single, I believe. A bit of fumble. Are they going to come back? Yes, no, maybe, wait. And one in the end. Over number 16 comes to a conclusion. The Orlando Galaxy 113 for 6.
What a wonderful fight back. Really complimentary or compliments here for the 2 batsmen, moving that score from 63 for 6 to 113. Respectable score. Now, all they need to do, they've got 4 overs, maybe continue. If they know there's a big hitter inside of that dugout waiting to come in. Well, I've seen batsmen retired out just to make way for your new batsman, but you've got to be sure you don't have a lot of overs when you do that. And then your slugger or your hard hitter gets out as well. So they should take it as close as possible to that 20 overs, maybe 18, and then take their chances. In the meantime, they're building on that 113. If they can get to maybe 140 or so, it will be good.
Yeah, Atish Gawan back into the attack. Seamers haven't gotten any success today as it relates to the wickets. But he's been relatively tight. It's 15 runs so far from his 2.1 overs. These conditions just encouraging the captain Renak Sharma to utilize his spinners a lot more than the seamers. Looking to go leg side, a top edge of the bat of Romario King. And the catch has been taken successfully. He's got to go. He played well for his 29. Playing across the line. And an easy catch in the end. Gawand getting into the attack. The score has now slipped to 113 for 7.
Very, very good. Now, these two batsmen should be applauded. They've really pushed from 63 for the loss of 6 to 113 for 7. Great work. That's the partnership of the match, so to speak. None, I think, even what is due to come when the other side take to the crease, that's Fort Lauderdale Lions. I don't believe there will be such a valuable partnership because of the circumstances here. King and Desai really stood up for the Galaxy players and brought them back from absolute trouble into some ground of safety.
Yeah, you really couldn't expect anything else from Romario King at this stage. You had to go into the 17th over. You still want to be in a positive frame of mind and tell yourself that you can get to a winning total. So at that stage, with 6 wickets intact, he was looking to force the issue, not able to middle it, and well bowled Atish Gawand.
So they got to go back to the old plan, and that's the plan. If King had stayed out there a little more, it would have been really constructive. But I think he was calculating too early. They've got to bat until about the 18th over and then start with a little bit of risk-taking because they still had at that time 4 wickets in the pavilion standing. But he did extremely well. Fantastic knock.
So it's going to be up to this man now, Hardik Desai. He's 2 steps down the ground, and it's cut away. Fielder comes around and picks up, they get 2. Whether the Orlando Galaxy actually do manage to get up to a winning total, it's going to be largely dependent on what Hardik Desai can produce in these final 20 deliveries.
Well, he stayed out there for a while. He's the star of the show. Turned away, backward square. Well-deserved boundary for Desai. That's nice. So they've carried it. They're inching on. Now we've got 3 overs after this. If they stay there, keep their wickets intact, Desai continues this lovely journey that he's on, and they can get at least to 140. Well, 150 will be excellent. But if they can get to 140, 145, I think that would be good work. Look at that scoring rate at the bottom.
Yeah, back up to above 7. A bit of a French cut on this occasion, looking to go big once again. He's going to have to settle for 1. 17 gone. The Orlando Galaxy 121 for 7. Three overs remain in this encounter. And Atish Gawand, he's going to bowl one of those 3. We're going to have Elton Tucker Jr. He's going to bowl another one. We still need an additional over. And I reckon that's going to have to come from Hari Karan Ediga. So whether or not they're going to choose to go back to Atish Gawand and finish with Ediga, or introduce Ediga after this Tucker over, we're going to have to wait and see. But Tucker starts with a loosener, a bit of a freebie, and the batsman decides being at the crease too long for you to give him those. Easily dispatched for 4.
This is really a masterful knock from Desai. 30 balls, and that's extremely good in these circumstances. Excellent. 42 not out. And he has taken the side almost by halfway of the score, from 63 for 6 to 125 for 7. That's very, very good. So what did they get there? A single? Yeah, just a single.
And this will, in fact, be Hardik Desai's highest score in the minor league. His previous high score, just 42. And I reckon he's going to be eyeing that personal landmark. Hasn't gotten a 50 in the minor league so far. He's looked good today and definitely played the part for his side.
Big offer here from Patel. It's in the air, catch taken. Another one goes. So while Desai is staying there, things are falling away behind him and around him.
Yeah, Manav Patel looking to go, as you would expect him to. Top edge. The fielder had so much time to settle himself and doing it to perfection. Good catch. And Elton Tucker Jr. getting into the attack. The spinners, they've had a field day as it relates to taking wickets here at the Orlando Cricket Ground.
So they made me do all that calculations to get to 141, 45. That would have happened if they did not lose wickets. Because what is going to happen is that the new batsman coming in will definitely, instantly be on the pressure. So I'd like to see whether the new batter will be crowded and put under some pressure. Scare them, have a psychological victory over the new batsman, if it's only that. So Shaw should be instantly placed under the microscope and keep him there. Don't allow him singles to get Desai on strike. Starve Desai of all the strike. And if the new batter Shaw can crowd him a little bit, save all singles, blocking important and key positions, so that Desai cannot come down for the strike.
Yeah, Sedan Shaw in at number 10. He's a left-arm spinner by trade. And being sent out to do some scoring here for the Orlando Galaxy. They are at risk of being bowled out in this encounter. Gets off the mark immediately. And I reckon Hardik Desai is going to be happy that he has been able to retain strike. 2 deliveries to come in this over number 18. Where is Desai going to be looking to go? Goes to that offside once again. Strong through the covers, an extra cover. And another single added to the total. I reckon Sedan Shaw is going to be looking for a boundary here just so that Desai gets strike at the beginning of the next over. Dot ball. And the score is going to remain as it is on 128. However, Desai will remain on strike.
No, they did not stick to that plan we suggested. So should have had a short fine leg, and there's where the ball went actually. Extra cover maybe up. A silly mid-on or mid-wicket short. And just crowd the new batter and keep Desai out of strike. It didn't work out that way. So Desai is in strike. And what he should do now, sorry, Shaw will be taking strike. No, has to be switched around on the scoreboard.
Yeah, most definitely Hardik Desai on strike. He's interfaced the first delivery of over number 19, and he's hammering Atish Gawand straight down the throat of the fielder at long on. Did make good contact, didn't get enough elevation. And in the end, quite a comfortable catch on the boundary. But he had to go. He goes too shy of what would have been a well-deserved half century. 48 from 33 is what he eventually got to. But really and truly has put these Orlando Galaxy players into a position of some sort of respectability, and a total of 128 so far.
Well, let's count the positives for Orlando Galaxy. They must be thankful for small mercies. I mean, getting bowled out for below that 100 mark would have looked pretty bad, but it is absolutely a great recovery. 128 for 9. Now, what these two final batsmen should be doing is by all means try to bat those 20 overs out. Even if it's for gaining a solitary run, make sure you stay there if you can and bat until the 20th over.
Bhaskar Nanasakti. Just a dot ball on that occasion, a wide ball. It's cut away to the man at point. Perhaps they thought about a run, but decided against it in the end. 6.98 runs per over so far. 10 deliveries to come. Looks to be a slow delivery there from Atish Gawand. Crafty bowling here in the death stages. He's got figures of 2 for 24 so far. Didn't pick up a wicket in his first spell, but he's returned quite remarkably here today, Naim Chan.
Very much, very much. 2 for 24 by any count. It's excellent figures in your final over. So you have Shaw is going to be on strike. And what the two of them should be doing, coming down to the end, is to make sure, if they can, to bat out all these overs. That's in the air for a while, dropping safely. Lots of confusion happening. He's gone? Yes? Well, look at that. Oh, so they've mashed up the innings there. 129, all out. 129 all out. Now, that dropped safely, but then look, they're probably turning for the second, yes. And in the process, yeah. But that ball went very high in the air. I'm talking here about scampering for the first run. If it must have been taken a bit late. So when you don't get the second run, you look for that, actually. Match summary for you?
Yeah, the match summary. Hardik Desai played pretty well for his 48 from 34. Rian King, well, Romario King, a slip of the tongue, no fault of the man, also played well for 29 from 28. Taten Ryan Chanderpaul at the top of the order, 18 from 13. But it was the bowlers and, to a large extent, the spinners here today. Runak Sharma, the captain, leading from the front, 3 for 22 from his 4. Ably assisted by Atish Gawand, picking up 2 for 25. And of course, Hedigo, 1 for 12.
So all the players are making their way off the field. They've been challenging a score of 130 or 131. Yeah, 131 to win 20 overs. And as I mentioned before, I've not had a look at how good or how bad Fort Lauderdale is, the Lions. So we'd have to wait and see for what's coming from them. So 130 after Orlando Galaxy won the toss and elected to bat should have been a bigger score, but you can't always get exactly what you want. So that's the story, 130. In a short while, the Lions will be coming out to face up to try to get that 131. We'll be joining you then live on our commentaries.
And we're back with you here live from the Orlando Cricket Ground for the second half of this fixture in the Minor League Cricket Tournament 2025 between the Orlando Galaxy and the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Orlando would have batted first and they would have been limited to 130 off of their allotment. Well, they would have been bowled out for 130 inside of their allotment of 20 overs. And now the Fort Lauderdale Lions, they've got the task of 131 to get, as we see the batting lineup who will be tasked with the responsibility of getting these runs. The captain is at the top of the order. Sharma was exceptional with the ball. What can he produce here with the bat? Delwyn Neblett here alongside Mr. Naeem Chan.
Hey, Delwyn, good afternoon to all. You have it on your screen there, 131 from 20 overs. So look at the required run rate, just over 6. No big deal. But cricket is cricket, especially T20. It's a crazy game filled with a lot of energy, lots of drastic, dramatic things. So let's watch and see how it unfolds. Desai, who had a very, very good knock. He had a knock of some 48 off 34 deliveries. So it's good to see that he's dominating batting, dominating bowling. And the captain, Sharma, who bowled so well for his side, is at the top of the order. First ball. Very wide off the off stump. So they're off the mark. The journey has begun. Match on.
Really did look to have a lot in it for the spinners this surface. Hardik Desai starting with some right arm seam. Does get a bit of swing, gets the ball to leave the right-handers. Mario Rampersad, he's opening alongside his captain, relatively inexperienced cricketer, but a lot of talent. An average of 21 that he will think should continue to improve throughout the course of his career. He's got a higher score of 61. So perhaps an opportunity for him to get some runs here today, Naeem Chan.
Yes, when he's got age on his side. Some people start out in a prolific way. A little Quinton Sampson in the CPL, plundering the ball around the place. Got a 75, then a half century consecutively. Now this is squared up on the offside. Now that's the energy. Sharma is already down the pitch, wanting to take a single. I like that.
Yeah, he really does stay in the game. He's a good thinking cricketer, the captain, Sharma. And from 15 matches in the minor league so far, he's got 2 half centuries, including a higher score of 87. So when he gets settled, quite difficult to negotiate if you're a bowler.
Off to a very plucky start here. That's Fort Lauderdale for you, the Lions. And of course, this game is being played in Orlando. I can't overemphasize my congratulations and compliments to the people who keep these grounds in this kind of shape. They're not necessarily very huge grounds. But well kept.
Yeah, short delivery there. Sharma looking to slap that one. Unable to pick the gap. No run on offer. A decent start from Hardik Desai. Quite the all-round talent, if you ask me. Really did play well to even allow the Galaxy to get up to 130, and now he's taking the new ball to good effect. And again, as soon as I'm giving compliments to these players, you know, the figures of the overs are being spoiled by some good stroke play, as we see on this occasion. Sharma a bit too wide for him, and a boundary to end the over. So the first over is going to come to an end. The score, The Fort Lauderdale Lions 6 without loss.
Who are we having? Batad?
That's right.
Slender. Wonder what he's bowling with. Have to wait and see. He's bowling to the left-handed bat. So you've got to always be on the lookout for what line, because if you're orthodox left-arm bowler coming into that left-handed batsman, you better get that short fine leg in for the sweep shot. Maybe a short third man for the reverse sweep. But you can't have fielders, of course, all over the place, but plug essential points.
Yeah, and Pranav Batad, he started bowling a bit of right arm seamers. Now it looks as though he's going to be bowling some right arm orthodox in this match here today. Also quite a talented all-around cricketer.
And talking about compliments, Delwyn is our point man as far as getting all stats together. He's doing that effectively. But we wouldn't have been able to do that if the people managing cricket in the US did not have that information available. So that's another compliment that we must give out and express. Great work, social media work.
And of course, Naeem, we've got to congratulate our technical director, Mr. Andrew Singh, as well.
Clobbered away. This might carry. This ground is pretty fast. So the boundaries are flowing. Sharma is flowing. Now that's a little cut. Remember, it's the power play is on, so you can't have a lot of people outside of that circle. Sharma goes to 9, 11 without loss. Good bowling, Batad. Just putting it back. Sharma was down the pitch looking for an expansive drive, perhaps over extra cover and the infield, and had to switch minds there from aggression to stopping it from going on to the stumps. Good stuff. Good field placing. A lot of those runs will come from those areas. Talking about compliments and our own Andrew Singh here, the entire team back in the US. Fantastic job this has been, our production team. Now paddle swept, backward square. This ground is fast, as I said. So it carries all the way. Sharma is in full flow.
He really is a smart cricketer. He looked at his field and observed that there was a vacant area just behind him. Fine leg short. So he knew once he got enough bat to get it past that short field, it would race to the boundary for 4.
He even gave himself some room by just edging out on the onside or the leg side, giving himself space to do that shot. Now here again, now the fielder is giving up body language. You know, it's gone for 4.
It really is a natural stroke maker. Ronak Sharma, as easy as you like. Picking the gap to perfection on this occasion. And the score moves up to 15 without loss. Back-to-back boundaries. 3 boundaries in the over. So a good start here from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. They don't have an imposing total to chase down. I reckon they would want to chase down these runs as expeditiously as they possibly can.
Well, they look in full flow, full flight. Only Desai from the Orlando Galaxy with 48 off 34, and then 29 from King. They were the only batsmen who showed some form. But from start here, it's pretty much flowing.
Almost chopping that one back onto his stumps. Mario Rampersad.
But it's sensible, though he didn't get it right. I spoke about that short third man for these same shots and the sweep shot, short fine leg. Two very, very important positions to block.
Yeah, most definitely. The intent was just to run that down to the third man area. This time he goes through extra cover, beats the fielder. And this is quite a handsome strike for 4.
Yes, they're making this look so easy. On the hop there. And it's good to see that he got it for most of the time quite level on the ground rather than all up air. But this is the period. It's happy hour, this power play, when you can, it's okay to go over the infield.
Sensible. Good comeback from the bowler Desai, but good batting as well from Rampersad. You know, just seems to be content to play the ball on its merit for now. They've done that to good effect. A run rate of 9.20 so far. They're only required to score at 6.1. So really surpassing expectations so far in the first phase of the match.
Look at that sharp single. Nice. There's an extra cover. The full offside is pretty well protected, but still couldn't have saved the single. That's the kind of running I like to see, kind of energy I like to see.
Well, a lot of good things happen when your intentions are positive. Your body language, your energy, the universe tends to work in your favor.
Positive energy, right? I hope I'm not seeing in that body language there from Rampersad that he's slightly frustrated. I think they're doing a fantastic job. They're going at 9 almost when the asking rate is just over 6, 6.23. So you're doing a fantastic job. Stay there, have fun, go as for long as you want.
A bit of a slow ball here, well disguised. And the batsman able to pick up a single. Over number 3 comes to an end. Fort Lauderdale Lions in pursuit of 131. They've reached 25 without loss.
Flying start. Absolutely. Flying start. And 131, I think the Galaxy, Orlando Galaxy, can count themselves pretty fortunate to get there, which of course is a big thank you to Desai, who scored at 48. And put on a very, very good partnership with King. From 63 for the loss of 6, they took it over to that 100 mark, 113 for 7. Great partnership. Brought some respectability, brought some dignity to the Galaxy, because they were stuttering, actually. They were really struggling.
And now we're going to have a bit of Manav Patel. He's a wicket taker. Just about 32 wickets in 36 games so far. So usually picks up just about 1 every match. Good economy rate as well. He's got best figures of 3 for 24. His side desperately in need of some wickets here today. Starts good. Pushed into the leg side for a single by Sharma.
Once that economy rate overall I'm talking about, that you alluded to, once the economy rate is good, I'm not even concerned with how many wickets you get. But if you can bowl my 4 overs for me for 11, 15 runs, excellent. Wickets is just a bonus in the circumstances.
Yeah, well, putting things into perspective, it's just above 7.
Just above 7. That's excellent. Excellent. For you to survive as a bowler at this format of the game, you got to be good. And I'm talking here about the big stage. You have to be good. Notice that the spinners on the big stage are very, uh, what may I say, parsimonious or stingy with the flight. If you flight a lot, you'll have to bowl slower, and then it's difficult. These guys are going to get down there at you, eat your throat out. So to survive as a spinner, you've got to be good. Rashid from Afghanistan, Sunil Narayan, of course, from the West Indies. They're not simple, ordinary fellas. It's a single. And you would be surprised at the pace those balls spin off the pitch with. Sunil Narayan, I think we paid attention to him at the National Stadium a few nights ago, into the 90s kilometers per hour, and still able to flight because the ball is zipping off the pitch. Sharma is very solid in his defense.
Yeah, most definitely. And, just going back to those numbers, on most occasions, if you can bowl your spell 1 for 28, your captain is going to be happy with you.
Down the pitch, Sharma. Quick run, good run. Now that's sharp and nice. That's what I was not seeing when the Galaxy were batting, or not to this extent. Of course, they were running, but there are times when the two batsmen simply were backing each other when a second run was on. It's those little things, the one single run more that you can get. It is so vital in this format.
Yeah, subtle differences between a good side and a great side, Naim Chan. You got to be able to do those things to perfection.
It's really a fantastic spectacle to look at people, batsmen I'm talking about, who know the game and play the game, playing with softer hands so that the man deep, he has to come in to retrieve that ball. And in that process, you're able to get 2 runs instead of 1. Now, you know that's a special player. Brains in the game and practicing the brains, putting it to work. So the running up to now has been special in my opinion. That's between Sharma and Rampasad.
Again, a good positive start from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Hardik Desai is going to get a third over here. Tight stuff from him so far. No wicket for 12 runs. He's bowled 6 dot balls. Keeping the pressure on the Lions, but unable to get a breakthrough. And again, when we look at his field, Naim Chan, you're not going to be able to restrict these Lions to a total of below 131 if you don't bowl them out. There are no fielders in close catching.
But I'd like to think that what they're wondering is that we don't have a big total. But you're right. I support you when you're saying, even if it's the initial overs, just attack a little more and get something out of it.
Absolutely right. As this one is pulled away straight to the fielder. You do. And of course, a lot of captains are victim of being ultra aggressive. But you do want to see captains be at least a little aggressive, especially in the power play overs. Batters are going to be looking to go after you. So you need fielders in key positions in case the shots are not executed as they would have liked it to be.
Wide, very wide here, Desai. Yes, I'm in support of that. The initial pressure. If your bowler is fast enough, or if he's swinging that ball a lot, let me just get a slip in there for start. Depending if They're defensive, they're solid, they're not giving away their wicket. All right. And then you spread out. But I agree. Down the ground here. Ah, good attempt. But just can't hold on to that. Sharma and Rampasad are making this look pretty easy. That ball was not pitched up on the hop. So it was airborne for a while, but still away from the fielder.
Yeah, walking across his stumps and then picking his spot. Beating the fielder and racing into the boundary. Well played, Renak Sharma.
Now from offside to leg side. Where's that gone? Umpire's signaling now. Sharma is making this look very easy. There's no doubt about it. And he's sweeping that from outside the off stump. Look at that.
Yeah, moving around his crease quite nicely. Just looking to unsettle the bowlers. Tamper with their initial plan. And he's been quite successful so far. Shots both through the offside and the leg side.
He's quite a complete batsman, isn't he? Good bowler as well. Short, that's not going to work. There's a man out there, though. I like to see utility players, good with the ball, good with the bat. Even in a small way. I don't consider Carl Hooper as the greatest all-rounder in the world, but he was what I may call a hustler. He bowls, he can bat. I mean, you have the Imran Khans and the Ian Botham, Richard Hadley. So many great that reach the pinnacle of when you talk about utility and all-round.
Dot ball here. Over number 5 comes to an end. Fort Lauderdale Lions, they are 42 without loss.
Let me just juxtapose that against the Galaxy players. When they were batting at the end of 5, it was 42 for 3. So compare for yourselves and you'd realize what I'm saying, that I'm right. Great start.
Yeah, even Stevens as it relates to the run rate. However, the Galaxy, remember the Galaxy, they were actually bowled out inside of their 20 overs. They would have already lost 3 wickets at this stage. So that in itself, a big difference. Losing so many wickets early up deprived them the opportunity of actually batting to their 20 overs, and they were bowled out in just 18.4 overs. All of 8 deliveries remained as this one is lofted down the ground. Looks as though it will be a maximum. Renak Sharma, the captain of the Fort Lauderdale Lions. He has been leading from the front all match. He bowled brilliantly. 3 wickets with the ball. And now he's moved up to 36 from 19.
But I just want to highlight the timing of Sharma. When he struck that ball for 6, one delivery ago, I thought the ball made height, but was not traveling. And so I thought, I was anticipating, wonder if someone is out there to take the catch. It ended up that it cleared the boundary. So his timing is superior.
Yeah, he knew it immediately. Just watch that one sail over the boundary, did Renak Sharma. And good running on this occasion. You're going to put a smile on the face of Naeem Chan when you do things like that. That's the energy we've been alluding to. Good positive cricket. The 50 comes up inside over number 6. And the Lions are roaring here to a victory at the Orlando Cricket Ground.
The Galaxy side, they reached 50 in 7 overs. Not a big difference, but they lost a lot of wickets. This guy is hitting this ball with a lot of ease. Lot of ease.
Yeah, easy as Sunday afternoon, some might say. Beautiful day for cricket in what has been a remarkable tournament.
Lots of cricket being played here. It's 26 teams across the United States. And some of the states have got, of course, more franchises than others.
Yeah, for example, both sides here in the state of Florida.
Short and pulled straight back past the bowler. And Sharma is a very intelligent batsman. If he had pulled it a little earlier, it would have gone down towards long on. But look at that. He's actually adjusting the shot to get behind the bowler's arm. In that way, long on had to come around to his left. A longer journey. And so he picked up 4. The most calculating shots I'm seeing being played here by Sharma.
He's oozing confidence. He's oozing control. This one picked up once again down the ground for another maximum. It's going to bring up his 50. Take a bow, Renak Sharma. 50 coming up in just 24 deliveries. Striking it at over 200, Naeem Chan. And backing up a most remarkable bowling performance of 4 overs, 3 for 22. This is your day, Renak Sharma.
Beautiful. I mean, I like to use those words only if I am really impressed. I'm impressed with Sharma, not only as a batter, that's the end of the power play, not only as a batter, but as a great all-rounder. So Sharma, I'm told by Delvin, is just about 34 years old. So sorry, he's not 17. But yesterday, the New Jersey Cavaliers, fantastic team also, very good bowling, couldn't judge their batting because they won by 10 wickets. Chanderpaul hemorrhage. He dominated with Lewis. Hemorrhage 58, Lewis 57, just to get 117. They ended up on 1-1 without loss. And why I alluded to that is because this team is heading, they got to get 131. They're already 63 without loss in over number 6. Now over number 7, Batad.
A bit expensive so far in his first over. Pranav Batad. This one. A lot of spin on that occasion. And even for Renak Sharma, who's not played a foul stroke so far, bit of difficulty negotiating that one. Good stuff from the bowler. And we did see this to a large extent when the Lions were in fact in the field. Their spinners really did bowl remarkably on this surface, Naeem Chan.
Well, he was guardedly leaving that one alone. Reminds me a little bit of the days of Shane Warne. You leave it alone on the leg stump coming in and it bowls you. Outside edge. This is peeling off the bat. Batad wins a prize possession there. You could have seen it. It's just peeling, and you know it's going up in the air. Someone must be out there. Simple catch. Sharma goes, but he's done a lot of damage. 50 from 26 balls, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions just cruising along, but very good flight there from Batad. He deceived Sharma on at least 2 occasions. On the second one, he got a wicket.
Yeah, most definitely. Renak Sharma didn't look comfortable at all against Pranav Batad in that over. And the bowler Batad coming out on top. Picks up his first wicket. He's now got figures of 1 for 14 inside of his second over. 2 deliveries to come. And we're going to have a new batsman make his way to the crease. Shunak Maratha.
Come on, Batad, you've done well. Now go get more wickets. That's what your team needs if it's going to ever give a challenge in this game. Already your back's against the wall, only wickets. Now he's off spin to a new batsman. I would have wanted a forward short leg, even if it's for this over.
Yeah, new batsman in at number 3, relatively inexperienced. You want to put him under a bit of pressure early up. And I think the captain has missed the trip, as Naim Chan mentioned, to just bring in a field or 2 in close to the bat. We love to see that aggression from good leadership, and a lot of the great leaders in world cricket, they've got that vision to sense when an opportunity is there to continue to put pressure on the opposition.
You're right, because the story is facing you, the fielding captain, staring at you. Defeat is staring at you. The only chance you have is to get the wickets out. You have a small total. Take 1 or 2 reckless decisions. It's a new batter. Which batsman comes in and from ball 1 wants to hit a 6? Only Sir Vivian Richards and company. So what do? Just choke him a little bit, even if it's for the remaining 2 deliveries from the existing over. Forward short leg. Anything. Backward short leg.
Getting ready for over number 8. We're going to have a bit of Chanderpaul. Doesn't do a lot of bowling at the international level. However, quite the handy cricketer. He's an ambidextrous cricketer. He can bowl with both his right and left arm. He's going to start with some right arm orthodox around.
When he was a little boy in my community, I would say to him when he's training, try pick up the ball and take a few overs. You must learn to bowl. International cricket, if you can do both, that's slug swept. Good shot. What is happening there? Catch taken? Let's have a look at this again. Now it's traveling. Catch taken. Wicket fall. Now that's the story. That's the story I'm talking about. Only wickets can make the Fort Lauderdale side lose this match. So the Orlando Galaxy must take wickets. 1 way in, 1 way out. So they've struck in close proximity. It was just now 63 for 1, now 64 for 2. Now, can you get a few more of those?
A bit of part-time spin being employed. Chanderpaul picking up a wicket in his first over, and he's been good in this tournament, even though he doesn't usually do a lot of bowling. He's picked up 20 wickets so far in the minor league, with an average of 14.75, an economy rate of 6.4, so miserly as well, and best figures of 4 for 9.
I wonder who he was playing against. But he's not known for his bowling prowess. But it's good when you can develop that second skill, like Sharma. 3 for 22 and came back and got a 50. 50 off 26 balls. And nowadays, not like long ago, Kalicharan couldn't bowl. Sir Vivian Richards didn't bowl. But they were world beaters, struck on the pad. That one looks pretty close. The umpire says out. So another one bites the dust. I like to see cricket like this because the underdogs here, that's the Orlando Galaxy, we were sympathizing with them all the way for only getting 130 runs. So they came back to fight, knowing that only wickets can save them. And they're doing that in close proximity.
Satwik Patibandla goes without scoring. And Tejaran Chanderpaul, a bit of a golden arm here for his skipper, picking up 2 wickets in quick succession. And after being 64 for 1, the Fort Lauderdale Lions, they're now 64 for 3. How do you like that?
That's why you try to get a good score that you can defend. They're getting these wickets, but the people are almost halfway to victory. So only wickets can give them some hope. And Chanderpaul is doing it.
And not the first time today we would have seen spinners picking up wickets in clumps. I think the score was on 55 when the Galaxy would have also lost 2 batters in succession.
Game on. Let's see what happens.
2 deliveries to come in this over number 8.
No run has been scored off this over yet. So Tejan is having a lot of fun out there. Now that should bring a second. Of course, they're all humans. They're going to make these mistakes. But I tell you what, it's those little things, that one run. The competition is so tight in this format of the game. It's those one run or a run here, a run there that can put you in a dilemma later. Well, he's gotten off with that one. No wide signal. So just 2 runs coming off with 2 wickets. Tejner and Chanderpaul is in a happy mood.
Yeah, and rightly so. Getting into the act. Exactly what the doctor ordered here in that over from Tejan Chanderpaul, bringing his side back into this contest. He's actually leading the side today. So leading from the front, Tejan Chanderpaul, a wealth of experience. Of course, that Chanderpaul name quite legendary in West Indies cricket. Looking to be a legend here for the Orlando Galaxy. Batad starts his 3rd over. Picked up the 1 wicket so far for 16. Nice tall, high arm action. A bit of natural variation will be on offer. Wesley Jackson is a good talent with the bat. Relatively inexperienced in his minor league career, just the 7 matches so far.
Good bowling, Batad. He's getting the ball to spin in, and to spin in with some measure of ferocity. He's probably gripping it very tightly. Had Sharma deceived on one occasion, on the second, he got him, the wicket. Good flight. He's a pretty tall young man. Why not a close catcher, even if it's for this ball? These new batters or batsmen are new, well, except Rampasad has been there from the beginning. So you have Jackson in there now, inexperienced, just 7 games. his side. But I didn't want to use the word reeling, but losing consecutive or successive wickets in a close proximity of time. So why not try a thing? Give me someone in to that guy. Let's see if we can get another wicket. But how the Lions started off, I thought it would have been quite a walkthrough, especially with Sharma. Got a 15-26. Batad ended up getting his wicket. Then Tej picking up 2 successive wickets.
And we did expect this. That's how cricket is played. Every side has to bat, every side has to bowl. The Fort Lauderdale Lions, when they employ their spinners, they got a good amount of success today. And now so too are the Galaxy spinners.
Well, that rule never existed many, many years ago in the backyard cricket. It's my ball. When I finish batting, I collect it. Tata, goodbye. And the match is over.
You've got to be on your P's and Q's when you're addressing the person whose bat and ball it is.
Good ball, Tej. Doing better than I thought. But there's always comedy in club cricket. Lots of comedy. There's always a black sheep in that team. One particular guy, as he opens the batting for us, as soon as he's finished, he's always having a bout of diarrhea. You never see him back until the next match. Cots just didn't have enough force there, but nice shot.
Yeah, good shot there, just a bit wide from Tej. Rampersad cutting it away nicely. He's looked good, even though he hasn't been extremely or exceedingly aggressive in his approach. He's managed to keep his wicket intact. He was able to support Renak Sharma in that partnership when he was going great guns. It's just about understanding his role here as this one is lofted into the cover area, evades the fielder, a couple of bounces into the boundary for 4. Yeah, so I reckon Mario Rampersad is going to be saying to himself, now is the time where he needs to get going. He's been out there once again right from the beginning. He's now gotten into the 20s. And if the Lions are going to get over the line here today, it's going to require a good hand from Mr. Rampersad. Big appeal from Tej Narain. The umpire is thinking, and he's thought about it, and he's not impressed.
That's quite a fair appeal as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how much movement the ball had. Rampersad has survived. Good intelligent shot. If you notice, he just jabbed at it so that it would not go to backward square and rather come to fine leg. Look at that. Thin.
Yeah, good skill here. A bit of deft touch. Knowing where the fielders are, having that idea at the back of your mind, and just being able to evade them to perfection. So now we've reached the halfway point. They're going to take a bit of a break for hydration's sake, and we're going to do likewise. In pursuit of 131, the Fort Lauderdale Lions, they are 81 for 3. Yeah, the players have had some drinks. So have we. And we're ready for the resumption of play. 50 additional runs needed for the Fort Lauderdale Lions to win this encounter. Meanwhile, the Galaxy, they're going to have to restrict them to anything lower than 50 or take 7 remaining wickets. We've already seen one side be bowled out already in this encounter. Wesley Jackson on 6 from 7. Mario Rampersad 24 from 21. As Batad is into Rampersad. Again, just looking to run that down to the third man area. Bit of a bottom edge into the wicket keeper. And no run on offer. This time he's sweeping his Rampersad. 2 fielders on the boundary converging, and they run too comfortably in the end. Current run rate now 8 runs per over. What is required is just a bit under 5, 4.95 to be exact. So nothing extravagant. Just sensible cricket from here should see the Fort Lauderdale Lions over the line. However, if they continue to lose wickets, it could be tighter than we actually anticipate.
And I love to see good cricket, so I wouldn't mind if another 2 wickets tumble along somewhere. And what I notice is that they're going to bowl Batad out. It's 4 overs. I want to believe that the captain is calculating. He might just lose his rhythm. You take him off, bring him back. Good delivery. Rampersad initially wanting to charge into Batad, and then all of a sudden changed his mind, quite rightly. Squared up. That's a nice looking shot. Wouldn't get to the boundary. I can't stop staring at that sight. Beautiful. The previous one, prettier. So there's a little ball patch we're seeing now in the grass mound behind. But the previous picture was so beautiful. It's all like lush green. This is the United States. We expect no less. Powerful nation. The most powerful. And so you expect certain things. And pride in playing parks and beautifully kept. Some flowers dotting the edge there might be nice next year when the tournament comes. It's just for the cameras.
Yeah, lovely vision there from Naeem Chan as the batters pick up a quick single. Tejan Chanderpaul into his 3rd over. He's been exceptionally good so far. Not renowned as a bowler, but with figures of 2 for 13, would be feeling quite happy with himself. Leading the Orlando Galaxy side today, a wealth of experience, a lot of talent, great genetics has Tejan Chanderpaul. Perhaps the chance of a wide there, but the umpire unmoved, so well bowled. Jackson is pulling this one from outside the line of the off stump down towards the long on boundary for a single.
So a little hold up, 63 for 1, 64 for 2, 64 for 3. Now 89 for 3. Nice little hold up.
Sensible batting here from Mario Rampersad so far. He's been the glue.
He's been the Sharma for the Lions. And of course, the Desai for the Orlando Galaxy. So I put together 48 from 34 balls, bringing some respectability and dignity to the Galaxy side. And the way that first innings was going, then this team batting now would have won already. But Desai teamed up with King, and from 63 for 1 to 113 for 6 to 113 for 7. Great partnership. So what do you do now? You're in the field, and the Lions are batting, looking for a paltry or relatively paltry 131 to win. So it's all about getting wickets. How do you get wickets? You got to attack a little bit. They're not going to give it to you in your hands fielding at cover, unless they ingeniously goes for a slashing drive and it's airborne. Other than that, you got to show that you won these wickets, even if it doesn't pay off. At least you tried. And some bit of aggression is what you have to do, especially when new batsmen are in. Now, these guys have been settling in there. Jackson has already faced 10 deliveries, and teaming up with Rampasad, 29 deliveries. He opened. So they're pretty comfortable in comfort zone, so to speak.
Yeah, Naim. And after the Orlando Galaxy would have gotten a breakthrough, both Tate Ryan, Chanderpaul, and Pranav Batad picking up wickets. This partnership of 28, it really has nudged the Lions just a nose ahead in this competition, if you ask me.
Yes, definitely. You can't compare. They're in the driver's seat because they have 7 wickets standing, lots of overs to go, 7 after this. So they're in the driver's seat. But that can only change with the falling of wickets. And of course, the fielding side, you can't just take wickets without making the effort. You got batsmen defending their stumps as well. But you're lucky if you can snatch 1 or 2 more, just put them on the back foot a little bit. Outside edge. That should go all the way, I think. This ground is pretty fast. Now they're coming back for 3. Good chase.
Good save on the boundary, saving 1 run. Every run very vital in this encounter here today. It's a low-scoring fixture, all things being considered. 95 for 3. The Lions require an additional 36 at a run rate of 4.91. They've done well so far at 7.5, only losing the 3 wickets.
This one is in the air, very high. So I wonder if someone is going to settle onto that. Yeah, it's just like looking at the body language to have an idea what's transpiring. So I know that it went skying into the air. So another wicket has fallen. Jackson, he goes to Shaw, off the bowling of Shaw. Shaw is now 1 for 3. Very tight stuff there. Good. So some more of this would add a little spice to the game. That's what we want. I like seeing good cricket. Yes, come on, meet and congratulate. Let's see a little energy out there. Of course, they're having a little rehydration. And a heat wave has been passing through many countries across the world, the United States, the hot cities more than the others, Texas, California, several of those. In France, they recorded several deaths, and other parts of the world. In Guyana, they were encouraging children in school and the parents send water in their bag, load them with water. The teachers had to put out extra water containers, see that the children are rehydrating. The times are pretty different.
Different times indeed. 13 overs gone. 95 for 4. Still 36 runs required. Nothing extravagant. Tejan Chanderpaul, captain of the Orlando Galaxy, is going to bowl himself out in for his 4th over. 2 for 17 so far. His right arm orthodox. Starts with a dot ball.
Chanderpaul in his final over. Now, could something happen here? That's what he will be hoping. Fort Lauderdale they've got other notions. Siddiqui not yet off the mark. Rampasad still tagging along there. 36 from 39. Now look at that run rate. It has really gone up 7.20. Been kept up there for a while. Squared up on the offside. Where is that going? Let's see. Good save.
Yeah, very close to that boundary. Does look to be a good save in the end. Mohib Siddiqui. Also one of those spinners who would have bowled exceptionally well for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. As a matter of fact, he bowled the most dot balls, 12 of them. Picked up 1 for 24.
It's not funny how many dot balls we've seen so far in the CPL. Kind of a rare statistic.
And Tejan Chanderpaul himself has been quite tight. 10 dot balls to his name. Make that 11.
$14 gone. The 100 has come up. 100 for 4, so 31. The Fort Lauderdale Lions to come up with a victory. And another important aspect of the game is, I don't know, with all the rules for the minor league, but it's winning is one thing. But when it comes down to crunch time later in the tournament, whether it becomes important that you not only win, but win in a manner where you have a decent net run rate. Because it adds up at the end of the tournament for you to have a better position, like pole position in car racing.
Premeditated movement across his off stump by the batter. The bowler just following him on that occasion. Unable to get it away. Dot ball to start with. We've seen a lot of this from the batters. A lot of movement in the crease. Again, looking to compromise the initial ideas and thoughts of the bowler. Just looking to ruffle their feathers a bit. And these are all elements of the modern game. Again, well wide outside the off stump, and the bowler is following him, but on this occasion he splits the field and the ball races into the boundary. Well played, Mario Rampersad.
Yeah, what a long innings this has been, with a lot of character. Lot of character. Now, if you subtract 41 from the total of 104, then the Lions would have only been just 60, 62, 63 runs, 63 for 4. So from that concept, you can know the value of the innings by Rampersad.
Yeah, quite right. He has been the man to stabilize this run chase. Playing a level-headed innings. Quite the classy and composed knock, if you ask me. Again, wide of the off stump and cut away for a single. Over number 15 comes to an end. The Fort Lauderdale Lions, they need an additional 27 for a victory here at the Orlando Cricket Ground. They are 107 for 4. New ball into the attack. Shoaib Saeed is going to be introduced by Tej Chanderpaul. Just 24 runs required. Mario Rampersad opened the batting with his captain Sharma. And so far, he's done well, 43 from 41. Job still not finished. He's going to want to be there at the very end. Saeed begins with a dot ball. Full delivery wide outside the off stump. Reaching a bit on that occasion, Rampersad. Just a single.
Good bowling here from Saeed. He's had the batsman tentative. That's important. So look how things have changed around a little bit. At one moment we thought this game would have ended early so we can get to the National Stadium for the CPL final. They have stretched it. Few wickets falling in succession with Tej and Chanderpaul.
Yeah, even in it being a low-scoring contest, has been quite competitive. Both sides showing a bit of fight about them at varying stages, which is good. You never really want to see a team concede. As the old saying goes, a cricket match is not over until the last ball has been bowled. So you want to see the body language of the fielders, of the batters, even in a precarious situation, reflect that, reflect those sentiments. Self-belief, it's always important. You never know.
Good shot. Wonder if he's gotten it away from the fielder. Diving attempt, can't hold it back. Yeah, nice boundary there from Rampasad. He's opening up. He's approaching that 50 mark. I thought he should have gotten that. It's not my age. Get around there.
Yeah, the fielder would be disappointed with himself. He got a hand to it. In the end, just helping it over the boundary. Over number 16 has come to an end. And they require an additional 16 to the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Shaw will remain in the attack. Tight stuff from him so far. An economy rate of 5. He's got the best economy rate of the Orlando Galaxy bowlers. As they scamper for a quick single. Tip again over number 17. Sai just 8 runs off of his bowling so far. And Shaw, he's been good. 11 runs off of his bowling, inclusive of 7 dot balls. And of course, Shidan Saw picking up a wicket.
That's very wide. Well played too. And a well played 50 from Rampasad. Go to the top of the class. It's not only the 50, it's the 50 in the circumstances. I think a few wickets were tumbling around him. And he decided, I'm going to stand up here, just as Sharma did. And partnerships are so important in T20 cricket. We saw, just coming back to the point of partnership, in the TKR game in the CPL against the St. Lucia Kings, virtually the semi-finals, and there were 3 partnerships for the Trinidadians of over 50. Nicky Puran that's cleared up on the offside, no run. Nicky Puran featured in the biggest of those, 74 runs. Paddle swept. Nice innovative shot, but you've got to know your field. You've got to get your head on your shoulders. And it's not somewhere else. Rampasad 50, 8 Siddiqui, 17 gone, 118 for 4.
$13 runs to win. They've got an additional 18 deliveries to come. They really have been in command of this run chase for most of it. A bit of a stutter while they were in the 60s. A couple of good wickets for Tejan Chanderpaul. Pranav Batad also able to pick up a wicket. Nonetheless, Rampasad has steered the ship.
With all that time he spent in the wicket, he's still very cautious. That's a good sign. I'm not going to get out because he can throw back the whole plan of achieving victory here. You never know. So I'm going to stay here. Did not lose his cool, like Sharma.
It looks like it does mean a lot to him to be there to the end, as this one is cut away into the offside for 2. Yeah, as an individual, a lot of us are motivated in different ways. So perhaps Ramprasad is one of those guys that will take pride in not only getting a half century here, but remaining not out.
But I mentioned this before. I think of all the teams I've seen so far, some 12, the Cavaliers out of New Jersey, to me, they have the largest repertoire of bowlers. They used 7 bowlers yesterday. And the last of the 7 picked up, 4 wickets, I think, Delvin? Yeah.
Most definitely. 7 bowler introduced into the attack, doing the most damage as it relates to taking wickets. So when you've got a strike bowler capable of bowling out the side and he's your 7th option, you really are sitting pretty as a captain.
And they're batting well. We were only able to see the 2 opening batsmen because they won by 10 wickets. I think that team can have an optimistic eye in this tournament. I think that was outside edge and just slamming into the wicketkeeper. Good. End of 18. Just 8 runs away from a good victory. I thought they should have maybe gotten there a little easier. I know it's not like they can't bat, but quite possibly it's so much of precaution they're exercising not to lose more wickets. Let's take this easy and just go home and win, even if we use up the overs.
And they haven't quite gotten there as yet. They're into the penultimate over. Really are taking it very deep. And if this over is a good over from Shah, that produces 2 or 3, suddenly you're into the final over and you still need 5. A hard strike back to the ball. He did get a hand to it, unable to hang on. Those either stick or they don't. But his teammates will be thinking, good save.
Good save. I think he might just have to go off the field. He seems badly injured. Yeah, that one was hit with a lot of venom. Do we have some spray out there? I have some. It's almost finished on our technical guy, Andrew's foot. Yeah, he seems in a lot of pain. I think fortunate for him, it's not his bowling hand. If he has that courage to go on there, go back and complete this. Magic spray out on the field. I don't know if he thinks his side is depending on him. I'm going to punish and go through this. In other circumstances, they may have opted to go off the field.
Yeah, he's a right-handed batter. He does use that left hand to bowl Naeem. So that is the danger hand indeed.
It's actually the left hand, yes. He's a brave young man to want to go back there. He was struck, and you could have seen in his body language that it was struck pretty hard. I didn't see the batsman go down and say, sorry, big guy. Now, Siddiqui was going to make space, travel over to the offside to sweep it from, apparently there's a vacant fine leg region, so Shaw ended up pushing it into the offside. There is a fine leg, actually. Good bowling. Good bowling, just keeping the batsman stunted, so to speak, not scoring. And I guess he can't grip that ball the way he would like to do it.
Definitely a plan to go as wide as possible to Rampersad.
Let me just interject with a point. I'm trying to get the field placings because with 4, even went earlier, 5, 6 runs required, I don't want a man on my boundary. I want them close and save all singles. You can hit me for 6 and win the game. It's okay.
Three runs to win. Got 2 deliveries to come in over number 19. Siddiqui advances straight to the fielder. Dot ball. Good bit of fielding on that occasion. And they really are taking it all the way into the last over. It has been a good bit of fighting from the Orlando Galaxy.
This is a nice battle. Siddiqui trying to make space. But with an injured hand, I think Shaw did an excellent job. Very, very good over.
And an important bye there off of the final delivery, which means that they head into over number 20, requiring just 1 run to tie and 2 runs for a victory.
So I wonder what's going to happen now with the fielders. I just simply think they should be coming in, encroaching on the space or spaces of the 2 batsmen, just to contain them from getting a single. Hit me over the top, take your victory. But I'm going to plug every gap right up to this batsman.
Yeah, Shoaib Saeed hasn't picked up a wicket. He's been good. No wickets for 13 runs from his 2 overs so far. He's got the responsibility of defending too.
That's a hard task. I would have, if I were Shoaib, I would have told the captain that Mandela is dead and Gandhi is dead, and I'm not feeling too good myself. Let's take a little rest here, please. Thank you.
Begins with a dot ball. It's a 2 from 5. Can there be yet another twist in this tale? Can there be? There can be. Can they? And that's it. Into the boundary for 4. Siddiqui finishing off the innings for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. And quite a commanding victory in the end, winning by 6 wickets against the Orlando Galaxy. It really wasn't a big total. Having been restricted to 130, the Galaxy were always behind the 8 ball. And after some good shots from Sharma at the top of the order, as well as Rampersad, who held this wicket intact to actually see them over the line, in the end, a decent victory. Ryan Chanderpaul picking up the wickets for the Orlando Galaxy side, ably assisted by Shaw, 1 for 18, and Batad, 1 for 26. But the batting side, in the run chase, prevailing in the end. 50 for Sharma, 50 for Rampersad. Siddiqui played well for 17 from 20. And what a great day of cricket it has been, Naeem Chan.
Certainly, it was a good game. Yesterday, I enjoyed that game as well. So, good game. We could have had maybe just a little bigger score by the Galaxy, just 130. So I would have liked to see a little more, give it a chase. But I think they made a wonderful recovery in the end. And they only made that recovery because of individual great knocks from Desai, 48 from 34, and then 29 from the bat of King. So they ended up at 130. We thought at one stage they wouldn't have reached 100. So good ending for them, but couldn't have defended. That was a pretty small total to defend, save and except to say that there was just a little scare when the first wicket went at 63, and then 64 for 2 and 64 for 3. So those were the 3 wickets that went down eventually, but certainly a good game in the end. So that's our story from the beautiful Orlando cricket ground. And you can look at it on your screen as you see. Very beautiful picture. And congratulations to the winners, Fort Lauderdale Lions, winning this game today by 6 wickets. So it was great providing commentaries for you on our network. And congratulations to all our hardworking staff who did an exceptional job to put this together. Thank you, Naeem Chan. Goodbye.